Hi everyone, welcome to my poetry reaction video. This project is for my English Literature 2 class at the University of El Salvador. Currently, we are exploring a very interesting time in American history, the transition between Romanticism to Realism. So today I'm doing a reaction for two famous American poems, Disappointment by James Russell Lowell and A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe. These poems are both a bit sad, but they talk about very different problems. So let's get started. First, I'm answering this question. What is the main message of Disappointment by James Russell Lowell? Well, let me tell you that when I first read this poem, I thought it was just a sad poem about being let down. But as I read it again, I realized the main message is about loneliness of being a good person in a cold society. I mean, it isn't just about being sad. It's about feeling alone because nobody else seems to care about being a good person. So Lowell is looking for real people with a big heart, but he feels like everyone around him is fake or cold. This fits perfectly with our study of Romanticism because the writer has a very high ideals, but the realism of the world around him is very disappointing. So I think this poem is a critique of the polite society. People meet and talk, but they don't really connect. So Lowell goes out looking for a real connection, what he calls brotherhood, but he finds that people are just empty. So he uses a metaphor about food to explain this. So in the lines 2 to 4, he says, I asked for bread, thou givest me a stone, and I'm a hungered, and I find not one to give me meat, to join or to grieve with me. So think about that. He's hungry for a real friend, but society gives him a stone, something cold and hard that you can't eat. So he's looking for someone to be happy or sad with him, but he can't find anyone. He also says in lines 5 to 7, I find not here what I went out to see, souls of true men, of women who can move, the deeper, better part of us to love. So this is my favorite part because it shows he's not just complaining. He really wants to find people who make him want to be a better person. But because he can find them, he feels totally alone. It's a very honest look at how hard it is to be an idealist in a cold world. He isn't just looking for friends, he's looking for people who inspire him, but he doesn't find them. So this message is a very powerful because it shows that sometimes having high values make you feel like an outsider. So now for the second poem, the question here is, how would you describe the mood of the poem, in this case, A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe? Well, I would describe the mood as scary and confusing. And in literature, we call the existential vertigo. It's that scary feeling when you realize that you can't control the time and you start to wonder if anything it's real. It feels like when you aren't sure if what you see is actually real. I mean, it's like being in a nightmare when you try to grab something, but it just disappears. So I interpreted also the golden sand in the poem as the thing we'll love, our family, our memories, and our own lives. Poe is standing on a beach, and everything is literally falling through his hands. He writes, I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep from my fingers to the deep, while I weep, while I weep. So the mood here is so desperate, the word creep makes it feel like he has no control. The sand is moving on its own, and all he can do is cry. He can't stop it. So the repetition of while I weep makes the reader feel his pain. And it's a very dark, heavy mood actually. So in the very end, the mood gets even more intense. He's almost screaming at God. So he says, "Oh God, can I not grasp them with a tiger's clasp? Oh God, I cannot save one from the bitterest wave." So this is the scariest part of the mood. He's begging or just for just one grain of sand. This is the vertigo I mentioned. If he can save one tiny piece of his life from this pitiless wave of time, then he wonders, is the whole life even real or is it just a dream? It's a very haunting way to end the poem. So, to wrap up, both of these poems show the sad mysteries we are studying in our English literature class. Lowell is disappointed because people aren't as good as he hoped. And Poe, on the other hand, is terrified because time and reality are slipping away like sand. So, both poets show us that moving from the dreams to romanticism to the harsh truth of realism is not easy. So, I hope this reaction helped you understand these poems better. Now, let me ask you this. Which poem did you like better? The one about lonely feelings or the one about scary dreams? So let me know. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.